Why did my wife's divorce lawyer suddenly walk out mid-hearing? My wife Isabel wants a divorce after 15 years. Claims I'm boring, never home, work too much at my accounting firm. Fair enough, I guess. Her lawyer's this hotshot guy in a $1,000 suit, James Webb. Keeps talking about how she deserves better, how I've been emotionally absent. I just sit there taking it. Then he starts listing my assets. The defendant owns a 2019 Honda, has $47,000 in savings, and works as a senior accountant at Morrison & Associates. My lawyer looks confused, leans over and whispers, "You told me you're a private investigator." I nod. For 12 years now. That's when it hits me. Isabel doesn't know what I actually do for work. She thinks I'm still doing books because that's what I told her when we were dating, and I never corrected her when I switched careers. Webb keeps going. He's clearly living beyond his means, given his accountant salary of maybe $60,000. I slide my business license across the table, then my PI certification, then photos from my current case, surveillance shots I took last week of an insurance fraud investigation. Except mixed in are photos of Isabel with Webb at Romano's Italian restaurant, holding hands across the table, kissing in the parking lot. Webb sees the photos, goes white, and starts shoving papers in his briefcase. His hands are actually shaking. My lawyer grins. "Your Honor, I believe there's been a conflict of interest disclosed." Isabel's staring at the photos, then at me. "You're not an accountant? You took these?" "Haven't been an accountant for 12 years, honey. And yeah, I take a lot of photos. It's my job." Webb was already at the door, but the bailiff stepped in front of him. Judge Harrison wasn't having it. "Mr. Webb, sit down. This hearing isn't adjourned." The judge examined the photos, then looked at Webb with disgust. "Counselor, you've been having a relationship with your client while representing her in divorce proceedings?" Webb tried to speak, but nothing came out. Isabel buried her face in her hands. "Furthermore," the judge continued, "you've been deliberately undervaluing the defendant's assets. Mr. Chen, what's your actual annual income?" "About 220, Your Honor. Plus my PI business pulls in another 150 on average." The judge turned back to Isabel. "Mrs. Chen, did you know your husband's real profession?" Isabel shook her head, tears streaming. I thought he was still doing taxes and bookkeeping. He leaves early, comes home late. Always said he was at the office." "I was working cases," I said quietly. "Stakeouts, surveillance, background checks. I never lied about being busy." The judge addressed Webb. "Mr. Webb, you're removed from this case immediately. I'm referring this matter to the state bar. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Webb out." But James was already walking out of the door as he said that. Isabel looked at me with this expression I hadn't seen in years. Not anger or disappointment, but genuine curiosity. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked. "You never asked. When we first met, I was doing accounting. When I switched to PI work, you seemed happy that I was making good money and staying busy. I figured you didn't care about the details." The judge cleared his throat. "Given these circumstances, I'm postponing these proceedings for 30 days. Mrs. Chen, you'll need new representation. Mr. Chen, you might want to have a conversation with your wife." Later, in the courthouse parking lot, Isabel walked up to me. "A private investigator? Really? Really? I help people find missing persons, investigate insurance fraud, do background checks for businesses. It's actually pretty interesting work." She laughed, but not meanly. "I complained you were boring, and it turns out you're literally a detective." "I'm still the same person, Isabel." She looked at the ground. "The thing with James, it wasn't serious. I felt so disconnected from you. Like I didn't know you anymore. Turns out you really didn't." We stood there for a minute, just looking at each other. Can we try talking? Actually talking this time?" I nodded. "I'd like that." 6 months later, we're still married. Turns out when you actually communicate about your life, marriage gets a lot easier. Isabel comes on some of my less dangerous cases now. She's got a good eye for detail. And James Webb lost his license, got sued by 3 other clients for malpractice, and last I heard he's selling insurance in Tampa.